Hi and welcome to your energy art reading for the 29th of July until the 4th of August. My name's Vicky Paul and I'm an intuitive and an artist, and I use art and creativity to channel energy to bring through guidance, growth, wisdom and clarity. These are general readings, so please do take what resonates. And of course, if you enjoy the readings and they do resonate with you, then I'd love to hear in the comments, and also ask that you please subscribe and share these videos as I'm trying to grow the channel. So if you are new to the channel, I bring through different symbols. For example, two faces. What else have we got? This is an old-fashioned Cupid's heart. And then I interpret these symbols to the energy and how it relates generally for the coming week, and every month I do them as well. So starting off, we have these two faces, and I just had this image of these two faces coming in to sort of lean in and kiss one another. And this feels very much centered around the energy of intimacy, and it feels not only that this is sort of physical intimacy between you and a loved one, I also feel that this is someone who has passed away. So if this resonates with you, then you have my heartfelt sympathies if you've lost a loved one. But I just had this image of this face coming in and just kissing you. And it feels that that is very much centered around this energy of being supported, you not being alone, that somebody is watching over you. You'll notice how one face is higher than the other. And it was a really beautiful image. So it may well be that if this week you're going to be thinking about someone who's passed away, you're going to be sort of missing them maybe more than you usually would. And that could be because of what's going on in your day-to-day life, and you would just be thinking about them a wee bit more. So this is just to let you know that they are with you and, you know, supporting you energetically. But also for those that doesn't resonate with, this just does feels that there's a lovely increase in intimacy this week for you, which is just lovely. And that kind of ties in with the image, the second image that came through. It felt very much like a sort of old-fashioned Cupid's bow. And I just had this energy in this image of, you know, Cupid stringing the bow. And again, this is all around love. It just feels that there's a lot more love in your life, and that can be love of self, love from someone else. And it also could be that if you've been thinking about someone or wanting to make the first move, this is the week that you're going to do it. You're going to get the courage and the confidence to go and do it. And it feels that it's going to be well received. So this is as much about, and when you think about the sort of Cupid playing this harp, it's all about that sort of beautiful music, the beautiful energy around the sensations of love and that connection between love. So I definitely feel this is much more to do with sort of love of self and love of another human being. I also want to say that this feels, because I saw, and the reason I'm saying it's twofold, I only saw one Cupid in this image. And it feels that this is, for some of you, this is going to be a time where you are going to start that sort of self-love practice. And that can be, you know, in whatever way that means to you. But it feels that there's been things lingering for a while that have not been for your highest good. And there's been behavioural patterns, for example, that you haven't, that, you know, you wouldn't do if you had greater care for yourself. So this is as much about self-care, but it just feels that there's a step up in your sort of self-appreciation and that love of self. And I also want to say that, you know, particularly with this, and the reason these two energies are connected, when we start to take better care of ourselves and love ourselves more, we then attract the love that we want and that we desire. And I feel these two are very much interlinked. So yeah, definitely Cupid's arrow is going to be springing this week for some of you. So do let me know how that goes. The third image that I received was a sort of old-fashioned urn, and this sort of water pouring out, and I got the words "your cup runneth over," and I really feel that, you know, these are really lovely images to open up this week's energy art reading, because it really feels that abundance is beginning to flow, that you're attracting into your life that which is going to fill up your cup, and it just feels lovely. I also want to say that this also feels for some of you, you'll notice there's a bit of spillage. And I just want to say, this is going to sound random, but I'm just getting this impression that some of you are going to be kind of clumsy this week. And I know this feels completely unrelated to your cup runneth over, but I've got to share it because it's come through. It feels that some of you are going to be a wee bit clumsy this week. So you're going to be spilling stuff. So just be aware of that, particularly if it's red wine on a white carpet. I'm joking, but you get my meaning. We're sort of twofold. For some of you, this is really about abundance and you really beginning to appreciate and have that sense of gratitude for everything that you have in your life. And it doesn't mean to say that there's going to be a shed load more money coming in, or you're going to, get that amazing house, or you're going to win the lottery. It just feels a lot more like you are really appreciating what you have, and you're starting to notice all the good things in your life. And it's this really kind of swelling of emotion. For me, water is always emotion, and it feels that there's just this beautiful amount of emotion and appreciation for your life and where you're at the moment. Also, this could be particularly, just as I'm sharing this with this energy here, these two energies, if you have lost someone fairly recently, then also there's going to be sort of emotions running over as well this week. So just to be aware of that, and just to have a bit more self-care and just a wee bit more patience with yourself, and just allow those emotions to come out rather than bottling them up. You'll notice that the water is all the way to the top of this and it's pouring out. There's no cork in it. There's no lid on it. So this is an invitation just to allow those emotions to come out if that does resonate with you. The next image I got was of a cigarette, and I feel that this is much more to do with bad habits than it is to do with actually smoking a fag. Some of you actually may be smoking a cigarette as you listen to this, I don't know. But it doesn't mean that to me. When I tuned in and I got this image, it feels that bad habits are still around, definitely linked to this whole sort of self-love and self-worth section of the week, where you're really beginning to look at the bad habits that you have and what are you prepared to give up in order to be more loving and take more care of yourself. I also want to say, because it's smoking, I feel tapped in with this, just as I'm sort of tuning into these energies. It feels, sorry, let me hold that up. There we go. It feels that some of you are going to be smoking this week. Just, that way where you're just like smoking hot. You're going to be feeling hot, feeling good in your skin, feeling good in your body, and it's just going to be oozing out of you. And you may find that you'll get a lot more random glances from strangers, whether it's in the park or just on the commute to work. You'll start to notice people noticing you, which is lovely. I also want to say that when I look at this image and I tune in, I feel, when you think about, you're smoking a cigarette, you take a draw, the ash burns, and there's a time limit to the amount of tobacco there is in this. So I feel for some of you, there is a time limit associated with something, and particularly around the kind of habit, the bad habit side of things. I feel that this is something that you have been wanting to give up for a while. And you'll notice the cigarette is at the beginning of its smoke, but you've only got this until it gets to the butt and the cigarette goes out. So I feel there is a time limit where the universe is on your side to help support you to look at and release and let go of these bad habits. And if it's something that's been lingering for a wee while, then I would really use the energies this week that you are being given from the universe before that sort of supporting guidance starts to sort of dissipate and move elsewhere. So use the energies this week to help really look at those habits and what is working for you, what is healthy, what is not. And also I want to say that because it's smoking was the habit that came through, that could also be for some of you that there's some sort of breathing issues this week. You might be sort of short of breath this week, or just feel a wee bit sort of tighter in the chest. Nothing, I guess, to worry about. I'm not a medical intuitive. I'm just sharing what came through. So if that resonates, do let me know. The next image I received was of this beautiful bright sunflower. But as soon as the image came through and I drew it, I then had the image of this sunflower sort of drying up and then the petals starting to fall onto the ground. So this is very much for me. I mean, there's a, yellow for me is the energy of the solar plexus, which is all about the sort of, which is the chakra associated with our sense of identity and our sense of self. And I feel that has a number of different energies around it, centered around the color yellow and the sort of solar plexus and self. And because the petals are falling away, it feels that some of you will be shedding aspects of self. So it's kind of like shedding old skin, shedding old identities, letting that go. And for me, flowers really represent the beauty and the transience in life. And this is also about a passing of time. You know, with the petals being on the floor, it's about sort of seizing the moment and enjoying the moment. Because if you think about petals, they come into bloom, they burst into full colour, full of life, and then after a period of time, they start to shed the petals, and then, the plant begins, or the flower sort of dies down. And it feels that this is a reminder of the transience in life. And this could be that a situation is transient. So if you're going through a sort of difficult or challenging experience at the moment, this is just a gentle reminder that it's not going to last forever. It is a transient period, and it's about really leaning into the beauty of all of life's moments, because in the dark times, and this could be why it was a sunflower and it was yellow and it was trying to bring sort of lightness and joy into this space, that in hindsight we always look back on really difficult and challenging times in our life as sort of deep learning and deep releasing periods. And it can be very difficult in those moments when you're experiencing the sort of full emotional force of that moment to remember that and to find some kind of joy in life. So this is just a beautiful reminder from the universe that there is still joy in difficult emotional times if you are able to open up and really see beyond the current sort of emotional pain and hurt. I also want to say, as I'm holding this up, there's a reference to the number 4 here with the 4 petals, so that will make sense to some of you. That could either be, the 4th of the month, a date. The number 4 is going to be significant in some way around this experience. The next energy that I received was of a turbine. And these, the big electricity turbines that that pop up like wind farms. And this absolutely feels that you are generating your own energy, your own life force. And it feels that this is, I drew one rather than an entire field of turbines or a wind farm. And I feel that this is a reminder that you are the source of your power. No one else, nothing else, just you. And some of you are going to need to hear it this week. We can often rely, and this may well be tied in, actually I'm just getting a wee connection here that this could be tied in with this sort of heavy energy of some of you are going through some kind of difficult time emotionally that's involved another person. Sometimes we can rely too heavily on other people to be the source of our happiness or our energy or our joy. This is just a reminder that you are the source of that energy, that love, that joy. And you'll notice I put the grass in here, and it's just this really beautiful, vibrant green, which is, although this feels connected to some kind of challenge with the sunflower, I want to say it feels very positive, and very sort of nurturing, because I've drawn green grass underneath this turbine. Also a gentle reminder to get out into nature. I mean, it's lovely here at the moment in England when I'm recording this. Beautiful sunshine, summer's finally arrived, and it's a really lovely time to, walk in nature barefoot and just really soak up that energy from Mother Nature. I also want to say that this feels that momentum is building for something. So whilst for some of you, this is just a reminder that you are the source of all your energy and your power and your joy, I also feel that for others, this is a reminder that this week, momentum is being built, and just to keep on going. When you think about it, these wind turbines produce electricity or generate electricity that can be used or also stored. So I want to say that it feels that at the moment, I want you to just store all of those feelings, the sort of wisdom, the knowledge that's coming through to you this week on this project that you've got, sort of tinkering away in the background. Now is not quite the time to share that energy. It feels this is very much about the storing process. Yeah. So the next image that I got was, and I found it quite tricky to draw, but if you have ever stood in front of a mirror with a mirror, then you see into the mirror and you see this kind of infinite reflections of self through the mirror. And when you tilt it, it moves. It's kind of like a tunnel of reflected images. And this is what I saw in my mind's eye. Difficult to draw, but it feels that this energy is really about you looking not just at the surface of yourself, but looking deep into who you are in your life, and also seeing all the different aspects of self, all the different versions and visions of who you are. And if you've not done it, then I would suggest you do it just to kind of get this real impression of what I'm talking about. Stand in front of a big bathroom mirror, and then you take a small mirror and place it in front of you, and you can see the reflections of each mirror and the self. And this feels that this is about a journey of recognizing all of yourselves. And you will notice when you do this that you don't change, just the size of you changes, obviously with perspective as the mirror reflections go into the distance. So it feels that this is a reminder that really at your essence, you don't change. You are who you are, who you are. How you perceive and present yourself does, sort of alter on a day-to-day, week-to-week, year-to-year basis with the passing of time. But the very essence of who you are doesn't change. And this is a reminder of that. So if you have sort of lost your way recently, or you're questioning, who you are, where you're going, what your purpose is, what your identity is, where you belong, this is just a gentle reminder that, when you look in the mirror, we see this exterior version of who we are, but actually we were so much more than that. And this is also about looking internally and being reminded of all the different versions of who you have been in your life and who you are going to be in your life. Whilst they will be different on the outside and they will manifest themselves in different ways, at the very core, you are who you are. I feel some of you need to hear that. The next image that I got was of a torpedo just sort of shushing through the water. And when this image came through, I got the words, "You're gunning for something." And I feel this is centered around the energy of you've got something in your sight and you are going for it. And this is just a gentle reminder that you are on target. You are on target. And I feel that there's a lot of emotion wrapped around this, because again, water is emotion for me as a reader. But it definitely feels very driven, very focused, and a very specific target that you've got your sights set on. And this could be work related, it could be a personal target, but something that you've got your mind's eye on. It feels that you are on target. So just keep going. This is a reminder from the universe just to keep going. And the final image that I got for the week of the 29th of July to the 4th of August was a protractor. And this feels that something is not measuring up. Something is not measuring up. And it feels that you are, because when you've got a protractor, and it's been a long time since I used a protractor, but the triangle angles are all different, and it almost feels that you're trying to see if it fits. So you're trying to see if something fits, and you're trying different angles in different ways, but something is just not fitting at the moment. It's not measuring up. And I feel that if you haven't already sort of spun that protractor around and tried something in a different way, this is a reminder from the universe to sort of try looking at it from a different angle. So just to try looking at something that's not measuring up in a different way, looking at it from a different angle. Yeah. So I was just sort of holding thought there to see if something else is coming through, but it wasn't. So there you have your energy art reading for sort of the last week of July into the very beginning of August, so the 29th of July until the 4th of August. I hope you have enjoyed watching the reading and you enjoy what's come through. Please do let me know. And also, if you have enjoyed, then I'd love you to subscribe. So thank you so much. And I'm wishing you a wonderful week. And just as a gentle reminder, I will be sharing the monthly reading for July at the early part of the week. So sort of Monday, Tuesday. Take care.